trenches, it would be Frankie Lampard. That's what the Chelsea captain posted on his Instagram pages yesterday as he paid tribute to his friend. Delighted to welcome John Terry to the show. JT, morning, John.
Morning, Alan. Morning, Ray.
Good morning, John. How are you, mate? You well?
I'm very well, mate. Thank you.
Good
Look
stuff.
forward to the weekend. One of the big games, the Arsenal-London derby. Brilliant. Come to the bridge.
Yeah, exactly. Big game.
What about, John, in terms of Frank? It was very interesting talking to Ray about Frank in terms of where he should go next, and Ray saying, forget all this badge nonsense at the moment. Get him straight in, and perhaps if it's the FA, fine, but a top Premier club. And I think Ray feels that not down the bottom, not down in the Championship or Division 1, straight in with the big boys that he knows so well.
Listen, I could agree with Ray to some extent. And for me, just the experience he's had and he's got in the game and what he can pass on, not only to the younger players, but the general players in the Premier League will be immense. I think there is that process of you have to kind of learn and you have to do your badges and kind of get there. But what he could bring to any team, whether that's being an assistant or a coach or whatever it may be, would be incredible, the experience that he's gained throughout his whole career.
And I think also, John, with the managers that he's worked with, especially Jose after the last couple of years, you've all worked with Carlo, Jose. These guys have been top managers in world football for a number of years now. And I honestly do believe if you've not learnt off those guys and taken little bits and bobs from each of them, then you've made a slight mistake. But I don't think you guys have. I think you know what it's all about. And I've always thought you're better off managing or coaching at the level that you've always played at.
Yeah, I do agree, and Ray, you've been there as well. And as you get older, you kind of take on board a little bit more about
Absolutely.
why you're doing a training session and why the manager's doing tactics 2 days before a game and everything else. And you've seen that firsthand with myself and Frank that we've kind of taken that on board over the last few years anyway. Because we eventually do want to step into management or coaching or wherever that may be. I just think there is, having gone through my coaching badges, listen, it is long, it is difficult to do whilst you're playing.
Yep.
I think it's a perfect opportunity for Frank now to kind of get some hours on the field, because it's quite intimidating actually. I've done a few coaching sessions myself.
It is.
Where you go, actually, I know what I'm doing, I'm going to put on a session, but you go out there, and I've done a few, my mouth was dry, and I was sputtering, but it's just you're out of your comfort zone. But listen, all the information's there, it's just getting it across the right way and preparing your sessions properly and everything else. But I think the most important thing for Frank at the minute is to just, sit back for a little bit and just reflect on his career and decide what he really wants to do, and then go wholehearted into that.
Absolutely.
He's made that decision, John. Okay, enough's enough now. How difficult is it to make a decision like that? I don't know what your plans are just yet. At the moment you're still playing. It's a big decision to make.
It's a huge decision, and I was quite upset yesterday when I heard the news and when I spoke to Frank. It's quite upsetting. It's kind of end of an era stuff with the likes of Stevie, now Lamps.
Yeah.
And listen, sooner or later I'm going to be next at some point in my career. But I think as a player, and I've spoken to the manager about this, that I think once you get to a certain age in your career, I think you have to accept that you're going to be on the bench. You're not going to play every week, and things change. I think when you're not accepting that as a player, I think it's more difficult to kind of put a line underneath it and then move on to the next chapter.
I think you're right, John, but I think it's also very important that you stay at that level. Now, whether you're not going to play, don't drop a level, because that's when it becomes really difficult for you.
Yeah, 100%. And listen, we've probably been spoiled at Chelsea with the facilities, the travel arrangements. Everything we do at Chelsea is at the highest order and first class in every department. I think if you step down, it wouldn't work, and it wouldn't suit the players, to be honest. So I wouldn't advise that to Frank or anyone else who's played at the level that he's played at.
Do you know, it was interesting as well, John? We're talking to Ray about Gianluca. When you're dealing with top class players, fine. When you drop down a bit, it gets more difficult. Look at Zola at the moment. It is not. It's difficult. Because you're used to that level of players around you, and as a player, the supply you get. And you drop down one league or maybe two leagues, and it's a different game.
Well, Gianluca went down to Watford, Al, and it didn't work out for him after winning 5 trophies, John.
Yeah, and I think as well, because Frank and players the likes of Stevie have done what they've done in the game, there's no given right that they're going to go down to these clubs and it's going to, change over.
No, absolutely.
And I think that's a perception as well. And when you do or go in as manager or player at these lower clubs, I think people are waiting for that instant wow and that instant turnaround, which sometimes it doesn't happen, Ray. It takes time to implement
your spot on.
Your managerial side of things and your tactics. But yeah, it's a real difficult one. But Frank's had an unbelievable career, and I'm just delighted I was part of that kind of growing up.
John, I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to him about it, but he's not going to be the next Jason Bourne or James Bond, is he? Because I think his missus wouldn't. She wouldn't deny it, but that he's been in talks with Hollywood. Hold on.
I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, he's got the look. He's got that look about him, hasn't he? He looks $1 million every day. I wouldn't put it past him, to be honest. But whatever he does, just knowing Frank and the mentality he's got, he will be a success, I'm sure of that. Whether that's punditry, whether that's management. And once he decides and gives it everything, I know for sure, just knowing him as a character, only the best will be accepted.
What was his best attribute, John? Was it the timing of getting in the box, his finishing, or what do you think he was so special, and what could he pass on?
Alan, I just think, having trained with him, and Ray's seen this again firsthand, we would do an hour-and-a-half session. Everyone would be absolutely shattered after the session. And Frank would grab a bag of balls, and I put this on my Instagram yesterday, and he'd go and do shooting. And naturally, after training, you get the lads, they want to do a little bit of shooting and put one in the top corner. And they would go and join Frank, and Frank would go, listen, I'm here to do shooting at game tempo, at game speed. If you're not going to do it properly, don't do it at all. And that was the example he set. His willingness to improve his speed, the athleticism, everything, his all-round game. He was never happy with his game. And I'm talking a player that was competing with Ronaldinho, with one of the best players in the world, and still wasn't happy. He wanted to continue and be the best year after year after year. And that rubbed off on everyone around the whole place. There's times in training that I'd be shattered and we'd be doing a possession, and Frank would run 10, 15 yards to press someone, and you're on his team, and you have to go and follow. You have to go with him. And he dragged myself and he dragged the team up so many times.
No, I think that's wonderful, John. I was just thinking, you're not in that retirement business at the moment, because I saw you play last week, and there's a lot of life left in the old dog yet.
No, you're right there. I've still got a couple of years in me.
No,
right?
You have, most certainly.
No, listen, I think what you've seen as well over the last few years, you look at the likes of Ryan Giggs, Stevie finishing now, Lamps as well, at the age of 38.
Yeah.
I think you're seeing our kind of generation of players playing that little bit longer because, we're looking after ourselves. And that goes back to the likes of when Zola and Bialy come to the football club, right?
Yeah.
They changed the way they was doing things before training, stretching, eating right. I mean, us English players 10, 15 years ago was thinking, what on earth are they doing? We was laughing at them. Now everyone's doing the same thing. The game's moved on so much, and you can look after yourself the right way.
Absolutely.
Whether that's eating, dietitian, in the gym, you can extend your career by 2-3 years. And listen, I'm feeling great at the moment, so I'm definitely going to continue playing.
I was thinking of you the other day, John, when, obviously Petr Cech's gone, Didier's gone, Frank's gone, Ashley's gone, and Ivanovic went. I was thinking you must be a little bit lonely in that dressing room.
I've still got Gaz next to me.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's quite sad actually, but I'm the last man standing, which I'm very proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you should be.
I've been there 22 years, and listen, Chelsea's my life, and it's been a dream for me. And listen, I've still got a lot to give to the game and a lot to give to the club this season. And hopefully we can go on to many great things this year, and then after that we'll see what happens.
Brilliant.
John, just finally, this big game at the weekend, A, are you surprised that Chelsea are clear at the moment? And B, a lot of people feel if you get a home win, beat Arsenal, you're going to take some catching. I know there's a lot of points that we play for, but are you surprised how far Chelsea are ahead?
Well, I think looking after we got beat by Liverpool at home, Arsenal away, and then we got beat by Liverpool at home, I was thinking, oh no, not another season like the one before. But the manager, he wanted to implement his formation early on. He made a big change and a big call within the group. We work an awful lot every single day on the tactical side of things. And I just think we're so well organised and prepared. You know, we're going into games, you know, feeling very confident and very sure of what we're going to do in the game. So I'm not surprised because, you know, we put the work in and the manager makes us put the work in on the training field. I'm just delighted, actually. It's been a good opportunity for me to sit there and watch it from the bench, actually, because it's been really enjoyable.
Yeah.
And seeing the lads at the top of the table and fully deserving that so far. But as you say, there's still so many points to play for. I think it could be a big 3 points the weekend. I don't think it's the be-all and end-all. I don't think that will be the end of it if we do manage to win the game. But, you know, they're going to be a wounded animal at the moment after losing in the week. It's a massive London derby. Anyone who's played for the clubs over the years knows what it means to the supporters. Early kick-off as well. So I think it's going to be a real tough game. But I'm just hoping, when I looked at the fixtures, the Liverpool one and this Arsenal one, you know, if we can pick up 4 points in these two games, it will be incredible and set us on the way. So we've got the first part of that job done, and another big game the weekend.
Brilliant.
John, great to talk. Good luck at the weekend and good luck for the rest of the season. I really thank you.
Thanks a lot, John. Love to the family,
You're
mate.
welcome. Ray, you too, mate. Nice
Take
to
care.
talk to you.
And you, buddy. Take it
care,
easy.
guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Nice one, John Terry there. And